76 points last night in a Clippers 135-129 win over the Memphis Grizzlies. It's the first win with Russell Westbrook on the roster. Los Angeles gave up 51 points in the third quarter. They were down 15 entering the fourth. Then they rallied back for that big W. Shannon, what does last night tell you about Russ and the Clippers?
Nothing. They won. They beat the Grizzlies without their best player. This is the Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, Skip, everybody thought they was going to get when they got the Clippers. When Kawhi signed as a free agent and they traded for Paul George, this was the kind of production that everybody thought they would see on a normal occurrence. But Kawhi's been injured, in and out of the lineup. He missed all of last season. He's been load managing. Paul George has been injured, in and out of the lineup, load managing. So we haven't seen what we saw last night nearly enough. But give them credit. They found a way. They gave up 51, but I still say it again, Skip, it's because of their defense. Offensively, we know they can score because they have two elite-level scorers. Kawhi is an all-NBA player. Paul George is an all-NBA player. They got enough offense. Skip, they gave up 51 points in the fourth in a quarter. That tells me you're not playing any defense. Give them credit. They buckled down, and then they went and they outscored it, but they still gave up, if I'm not mistaken, Skip, I still think they gave up what? Look at my notes right quick. Lost my note. But
yeah, for the game, you mean?
What they give up in the fourth quarter?
Fourth quarter was 38-17. So Memphis scored 17.
They buckled. See,
they did.
They buckled down in the fourth quarter.
They did.
Gave up 51 in the third. Gave up 17 in the fourth.
Yep.
Skip, that's where they're going to win the game. They're going to win the game on the defensive end. They have more than enough offense because you have two guys that can go get you 30 with ease. Kawhi is a very efficient player. Paul George is not the efficient player that Kawhi is, but he's streaky.
Yeah,
he get hot.
He is.
He can go on a run by himself or go get 15, 16, 17 points in a quarter. He can go get you 20. If they score 30, he can get you 20 of those 30.
Yeah.
And we saw last night, Kawhi and Paul George, the final 28, they had 25 of those final 28 points that the Clippers scored. So this is what we were expecting to see from Kawhi and Paul George. But the question is, Skip, are they going to play any defense? When y'all going to start playing defense? Because look at the score. What was the final score last night, Skip?
It was 135-129.
See? Again, look at it. You gave up 129 points, Skip. See? You remember? Think about what you gave, Skip. Think about how many points that you've given up over the last 5 games. A 176, a 130 this, a 130 that, a 129. You're going to lose a lot of those games.
Okay. On the bright side, I was extremely impressed. They even won the game last night because I thought they were cooked. You give up 51 at home to basically the backup Memphis point guard scoring 20, Tyus Jones, scoring 20 in the quarter. I look at the numbers Memphis put up in a quarter, and it looks like they had good games. You know, like these numbers would stand up as good game numbers. Because Jaren Jackson had 11, and Desmond Bane had 11, and Aldama came off the bench and had 7. They have 51 points. They win 51-30 in the third quarter. And
Luke Kennard had 15.
He did. He had 15. And
5 of 5 from 3.
Okay. And he used to be a Clipper, by the way. To their credit, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George said, that's enough. And to use your phrase, they summonsed it up on defense, and they locked him down. And listen, they went into attack mode because all of a sudden Eric Gordon's coming in. He can still play defense at a high level, and he just took Tyus Jones out of the game in the fourth quarter. But sometimes Kawhi would take him. They were rotating defenders on Tyus Jones. What is he, like 6'1" or whatever he is?
6 foot.
Yeah, 6 foot maybe. But it took that. And they go on an early 17-0 run in the fourth quarter, and Paul George scored the first 8 of those 17, and Kawhi scored the last 9. And for the whole fourth quarter, Kawhi had 15 points. Well, it took that for them to erase the deficit. Okay, now, back to the big picture. They locked in, they buckled down, and they pulled off a game that would have been their ultimate embarrassment to lose to a team, obviously without Ja, without Dillon Brooks. without Clark. The poor man blew his Achilles out without Steven Adams. To your point, Memphis is deep enough that they can scare the hell out of you, and they'll probably scare the hell out of the Lakers when they play, what is it, Wednesday night? Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday night. Okay. What I still don't like about the Clippers is the Westbrook cloud, because actually Russ played his best game as a Clipper. I need to hark back to what happened on Friday night because I watched the whole thing because I'm in awe of it. But Russ was very good on offense against the Sacramento team that we both agree is legit, and had them on the ropes at Sacramento. And if I can show you, Shannon, what happened down the stretch of this game, let me get it exactly right here. Okay, so it's 15 seconds left. They're up 1 at Sacramento. And could I show you what happened? 15 seconds left. And here's a cross-court pass to Russ. And are you believing this? We got to see it one more time. It's just a routine NBA pass, and it goes right through his hands. How can you do this? You're up 1 with 15 seconds left, and you're not only are you wide open over there, but the ball just goes right through your hands. I've always said, worst pair of hands I've ever seen on any point guard, like at high school, college, or pro level, is Russell Westbrook. Well, that's the turnover of the year for the Clippers because you got Sack on the ropes. You're going to win the game. You're up 1. You can cash right there. The game's going to be over. And then last night, after all that I raved about what Kawhi did and Paul George did in the fourth quarter, I'm going to show you Russ's 2 turnovers in the fourth quarter, and they came at 7:41 as the first one. They're down 10 points at this point, and as you know, Shannon, it's so demoralizing. He's dribbling the ball, and he just loses the ball, okay? Knocks out a bounds. It's off Russ, and then this is the other turnover. This is a little later. It's just a bad idea pass. That was with 5:19 left. My point to you is this, Shannon, they're so demoralizing. You were down 10 at 7:41 and then down 4 at 5:19. Those kind of turnovers, when you're on a roll and roaring back, they can just take the heart out of a basketball team where you're like, what are you doing?
They can.
Because you can't turn it over. If you're down 15 going to the fourth quarter, you can't risk an ugly turnover because everybody just looks at each other and says, well, that's it. We just shot ourselves in the foot again. So that's what I don't love about Russ. But Ty Lue's hanging with him, playing him high minutes. Fourth quarter, Russ played all 12 minutes of the fourth quarter and had those 2 turnovers. But Ty Lue he's going to go down with his pride goeth before the fall. They're not doing what the Lakers did. They're not limiting him to 28 minutes coming off the bench. They're playing him starters minutes. They're playing him full fourth quarter minutes. And here we go, and there they went. And to me, I just feel like the Clippers are doomed because they're trying to show you, the Lakers, that we can win with him in ways you can't win with him. And now, as you know, they're 1-6 with Russ in the starting lineup. And he finally won. That's the first game as a starter he's won in the last 16 tries. So he's now 1-15 over the last 16 games he's been a starter for an NBA team. It's just hard to watch and it's hard to overcome.
Think about this. How rare what the Clippers did last night. They're the first team since the 1991 Cavaliers to allow a 50-point quarter and win the game. Let that sink in. In over 3 decades, they're the first team to allow a 50-point quarter and still win the game. Now, they held Memphis to 35% shooting in the fourth quarter, 17% from the three-point line. And Memphis still shot for the game 54% from the field and 53% from the three-point line. Even though they held them to 17% in the third quarter and 35% in the fourth quarter. So let that sink in. And they still shot that. So again, it's defensively, not Russ. Everybody refuses to play defense until the fourth quarter, and they said, well, hold on, guys, we're getting embarrassed. We're about to be on a 6th game. We're about to lose our 6th game since the All-Star break. And no, that's unacceptable. So finally they decided to say, you know what, guys, just for 12 minutes, that's all that Ty Lue probably told them, for 12 minutes, give me everything you got defensively.
They did.
They did. and they won the game. But that's their problem, Skip. That's their problem, is on the defensive end.
Hard to watch.
Clippers sitting in that 8th spot, guys, 33 in the loss column. All right, we got a very special guest coming up next to help us break down the Suns. Do you think they're bound for the finals? Eddie House weighs in. Coming up next when Undisputed returns.